In a mature and incredibly diverse society such as ours, the access to all perspectives of an issue becomes more and more important.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Trump used the word fight or fighting 20 times, including telling the crowd they needed to fight like hell.
Senator, excuse me for interrupting.
Sure.
If I could count the number of times that a mother or father has come up to me, or a child has come up to me and says, if I don't get your autograph, my mother's going to kill me. This is a part of our language. And
I don't know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
In high school, I'd take you behind the gym and beat the hell out of them.
It's just a warning to you Trumpers. Be careful. Walk lightly.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
Take him out now.
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
Chairman, what assurance have I that any national panel to review my music would make any better judgment?
If Ozzy Osbourne records it, that's offensive. But if Donny Osmond records it, it's a fact of life.
A favorite term that all of you people really came up with, we will stop the steal.
You can run the best campaign, you can even become the nominee, and you can have the election stolen from you.
Half of Clinton's voters believe the conspiracy theory that Russia hacked Election Day votes.
It's not as if it's just Republicans who have monkeyed around with elections in the past. Sometimes Democrats have too.
Actual interference with the elections themselves. We know it happened.
If Ozzy Osbourne records it, that's offensive. But if Donny Osmond records it, it's a fact of life.
Personal note, and show just how unfair the whole concept of lyrical interpretation and judgment can be, and how many times this can amount to little more than character assassination.
Johnny Depp on stage at a music festival in the UK when, apparently speaking in jest,
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
Listen to my album, you gotta swallow the whole pill. The problem with Ice-T is, I say don't do drugs, go to school, don't go to jail, love your brother.
With little, since they could barely speak, I'd say no drugs, no alcohol, no cigarette. I had a great tutor on this, but I look and I see what it does to people when they lose control.
Walk in my neighborhood, you got to step over people. There are people living in the streets. There are people starving. There's a drug problem, a huge drug problem, where like the soul of the American youth is just being eaten away. People are drinking and driving. People are dying because some asshole gets behind the wheel and drinks and kills somebody who's going home from work. You know, there's stuff like that going on that are real societal problems. And like, what's his name's wife, Albert Gore's wife, sits, I don't know where she lives, but she's sitting home going like, you know, let's see, what can I do with my life? How can I be productive? I know, I'll pick the 14,337th most important problem in America. Bad words on records.
Donald J. Trump is now President of the United States. President Obama is the ex-president. And Mr. Trump, for the moment, steps loose for...
And I'm gonna blame you because I saw the news channels. I saw them saying, "He's racist, he's sexist." You would just wake up to pee in the middle of the night. He hates Mexicans, and he says they're rapists, and he hates black people, and
But he wasn't wrong about some of these critical issues, and that's why they're voting for him. And I think people should be a little more respectful of our fellow citizens.
It's hard to hate 75 million of your fellow Americans, and
I agree.
It's done quite a bit.
And, you know, the Democrats have done a pretty good job with the deplorables, hugging onto their Bibles and their beer and their guns. I mean, really, like, could we just stop that stuff and actually grow up and treat other people with respect and listen to them a little bit?
I think it was extremely authoritarian how Trump raided Biden's home. And then he gave him 4 indictments. And he just said that, like, Biden is the biggest threat to American democracy. And, like, democracy's on the ballot. Like, it's extremely just authoritarian to do that, right?
I would agree with that.
Biden's family business, they put it on the stand, like, to dissolve his family business. You know, their business selling art and information to China.
Right.
Very authoritarian.
I'll agree with that.
What if I told you that those were all things that Biden's done to Trump?
that he may have participated very much like Trump had done, trying to manipulate a situation to say things that sound agreeable and aren't agreeable and that sort of thing. And I would say that he's gotten into your skin.
If Ozzy Osbourne records it, that's offensive. But if Donny Osmond records it, it's a fact of life.
Tell me why you like it, and I'll tell you why I don't like it. I think the most evil part of the PMRC and people like Tipper Gore and Jesse Helms is they play on the fears of parents who are too chicken to talk to their own kids.
A foundation of fear. The only thing we have to fear, as President Roosevelt said, is fear itself.
Well, most respectfully, President Roosevelt never heard these records.
It's really weird that the music industry and the film and television industry, you almost got to be a Democrat. You know, it's like if you're a Republican, you know, you're kind of like a guy that people don't really want to hear from. But I'm an independent. I'm not a Republican. I've never been a Republican. I've always said that. I don't belong to any party. I'm nonpartisan. And for me, the sad thing is, instead of voting for the best man, I have to vote for the lesser of the two evils.
Don't have a brain of their own. So I refuse to do that. The only thing I ever got political in was doing Elected, and that was a total satire.
Party. Are you shocked by these results tonight?
Yes, I am. It's like there's a death in my family. I told the man upstairs, that's the way I feel. I feel like there's a death in my family.
Lady Gaga climbed aboard a sanitation truck parked outside Trump Tower as a security barrier. Her sign, Love Trump's Hate. She was also photographed looking distraught in her Rolls Royce.
No, we don't want Rolls. We can walk. But if you offer Rolls Royce, I love it.
Distraught in her Rolls Royce. Say a prayer, America, she tweeted. Miley Cyrus was in tears in this Facebook video. Hillary had Beyonce and Jay-Z, Bruce Springsteen, John Bon Jovi, Katy Perry.
You must vote for Hillary Clinton tonight!
Clearly, the celebrity endorsements did not move the needle in this election. And the question then becomes, does that reveal some disconnect between celebrities and their fans, where they say, you know what, we're good with you on the music and we want to go to your concerts and we want to watch your movies, but we're not interested in you telling us how to vote.
If Donald Trump wins, I'm going to be out of the country.
Money said the same thing when Trump got elected. That's it, bro. I'm out. I'm leaving the country. You coming with us? Nah, I'm good, dog. I'm gonna stay here and get this tax break, see how it works out.
You take a mortal man and put him in control. Watch him become a god. Watch people's heads roll. It's the Donald! Oh my God!
Mr. and Mrs. Trump, it's an honor to meet you.
Just like the Pied Piper, let rats roam the streets, dancing like the marionettes, swaying to the symphony of destruction.
And I am your commanding officer, I'm your general, so you report to me.
Acting like a robot.
1, 2, 3, away.
He's got balls, you know, and I'm sick of these leaders that don't have balls, and Hillary don't have no balls.
And maybe that's a question you should ask China. Don't ask me, ask China that question, okay?
Sir, why are you saying that to me specifically?
I'm telling you, I'm not saying it specifically to anybody. I'm saying it to anybody that would ask a nasty question like that.
That's not a nasty
Please
question.
go ahead.
Why do you keep using this? A lot of people say it's racist.
It's not racist at all, no, not at all. It comes from China.
Both scientists and the U.S. intelligence community agree that this coronavirus was not man-made. That is not a possibility. It came from a natural source. It didn't come from a lab.
Spouting a conspiracy theory that the Chinese made this virus up.
We know that it's been debunked that this virus was man-made or modified or anything like that. Dr. Anthony Fauci rejected the conspiracy that coronavirus was man-made in a lab in Wuhan, China.
And yet this week, Donald Trump is still pushing the debunk bunkum. But I still believe the most likely origin is from an animal species to a human. But I keep an absolutely open mind. It's quite far-fetched that the Chinese deliberately engineered something so that they could kill themselves as well as other people. I think that's a bit far out, John. The xenophobia and the racism in outbreak is such a common thing, and it is incredibly dangerous.
Have you seen anything at this point that gives you a high degree of confidence that the Wuhan Institute of Virology was the origin of this virus?
Yes, I
But there's enormous evidence that that's where this began. I can tell you that there is a significant amount of evidence that this came from that laboratory in Wuhan.
Not only did we confirm that the virus came from the Wuhan Institute of Virology in China.
Well, you know who we could ask? The Wuhan Novel Respiratory Coronavirus Lab.
First people that got coronavirus worked at the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
The disease is the same name as the lab.
You were right the whole time.
If Ozzy Osbourne records it, that's offensive. But if Donny Osmond records it, it's a fact of life.
Your trainees, the people that you are in charge of getting in shape and being responsible.
Hey, why not? Sit down.
Right here. What are you talking about?
Why not?
You
lie down. Sit down.
Hey,
what do you think you're doing? They're not paying attention.
What's happening?
Line up. Right here.
Sit down. Go order. Right now. Wait.
Hey, why aren't they listening?
I
know you're talking.
All right. Talk to an officer. All right, guys, listen. Shh. All right. There's a lot of chaos in the barracks right now, and this is not okay. I need you guys to get these troops in order.
You give us a question.
Don't be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
No,
give
I'm
us
not
a
going to give you
question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President-elect, that's not appropriate.
Oh, I know he's not a racist. I mean, I was convinced that first day from that first conversation, and the reason I was convinced was because he did not go overboard trying to convince me he was not a racist.
Screaming free Trump when the gang outside. Screaming free Trump every time I drive. Yelling free Trump till the day we die. Free Trump.
People really think the war's with Trump, but the war's with us. Needles and cuffs, no freedom of speech, the people are stuck. Strong delusion, everybody's stupid and they running amok. Demonic and tough, the Democratic got us all up in cuffs. Them Ricos fake, them charges fake, that case ain't real. These people, Satan, please don't say it's fake for real. That's real. No matter the side, you gotta decide the side you want. God is coming, no time to fumble a ball, and Biden's not enough.
I'd rather have a president with a mugshot than the president pedophile that we got. I'm sorry, Trump, I ain't vote for you last time. They was hating on you spreading lies last time. It made me relate when they hit you with the Rico. Now the whole hood screaming free Trumpito. Trump, how you get indicted before anybody on Epstein's list? Epstein's list. Jesus is my savior, Trump is my president. Saying that you racist, but I don't see no evidence. Fuck Joe Biden, yeah, I'm voting for Trump. Fuck Joe Biden, yeah, I'm voting for Trump. Voting for Trump, the whole hood's for Trump. Fuck Joe Biden, yeah, I'm voting for Trump. Blacks for Trump.
Well, they have much more power than most people would like to think. When we think of the media in this country, the problem is that they have a sense of self-righteousness, a double standard on issue after issue after issue. They can find everything wrong with somebody else, but they will not look inside and ever admit that they can be wrong themselves.
There is a war going on for your mind. Media mavens mount surgical strikes from trapper-keeper collages and online magazine racks. Cover girl cutouts throw up pop-up ads infecting victims with silicone shrapnel.
One blind man is following another blind. That is going on all over the world, not only in India.
Those hoods are there for your protection, and the meteors these days are the size of corpses.
Excuse me, but I've got something to tell you first. Thank you for ruining my life.
Ashley!
What did you do?
Everybody's always blaming me for everything.